I listen up, man, because I'm about to keep it a buck with y'all like a goddamn dollar store up in this bitch. You read the title, right? Forget about your external streaks on semen retention and focus on the internal shift instead. Yes, sir, let me say that again for the people in the back. Listen up, my guy. Forget about your external streaks on semen retention and focus on the internal shift instead. You might be wondering, okay, man, what the fuck does that even mean, bro? I thought this whole practice of semen retention and celibacy was about getting the highest number on the board. 90 days, 100 days, 1,000 days, 200,000 days. Now you're telling me it's about the internal shift. What does that mean? Well, relax. Relax. Relax, my guy. I'm gonna need you to just take a deep breath because it's time for your boy to break this bitch down real quick like a brick for y'all. So first things first, what you must come to understand along this journey of using the practice of semen retention and using this spiritual path of celibacy as the tool it was intended to be to help you elevate your mind, body, and soul is the fact that this practice is not about quitting porn. This practice is not about stop hooking up with girls. This practice, at its bare bones, at its deepest layer, is about elevating your state of consciousness from the animalistic instincts on over to your higher faculties. So let that really marinate in your motherfucking mind. Let that sink into your psyche, my guy. Forget about what everybody else has told you about semen retention, about celibacy. This is the ancient teachings of the past, what they have all propagated, what they have all spoke about when it comes to this practice of celibacy and semen retention. They weren't talking about, oh man, it's about how many days that you're not watching porn, how many days that you haven't hooked up with a random girl on Tinder. That's not what it's about. Yet that's what a lot of these semen retention content creators that you see here on YouTube talk about. How many days can you get to? When do you turn into God on semen retention? When do you start getting the aura? When do you start getting the benefits? Fuck the benefits, man. Fuck the benefits. I'm here telling you right now, as someone who's been on this journey for about 5 years, the benefits don't mean shit. It's the shift that really fucking matters. It's the shift is what you're really looking for. And this shift is internal. You might get external benefits, 100%. 100%. You're gonna feel more energy. You're gonna feel better mental clarity. You're gonna feel a higher connection to your soul, even though that is an internal benefit. The internal shift is what is the most profound aspect of this practice. And what is the internal shift? It's the shift of ascending up your spine. You might be like, okay, man, what the fuck is this guy saying? Ascending up your spine now? Hold up, let me break it down. Let me break it down, brother. You see, again, the whole premise of this practice is to elevate your levels of consciousness and shift you from the animalistic side of your existence, where you're a slave to your senses, where you're a slave to your programming, where you're a slave to the external world, on over to becoming a master of your senses, because your sexual energy is the most potent force of prana that you have access to as a man. It is the only reason that you're here. It is the only reason that I'm here. It has the ability to create another human being when you learn to finally harness that energy, cultivate it, and ascend it up the spine. You activate the dormant faculties, the dormant centers of your overall spiritual being. What do I mean by that? Your spine is the center of your universe. Your spine, aka the spinal column, the spinal cord, and the brain, they're all connected, is how you perceive this reality. It's how you perceive the matrix. It's how you perceive Maya, the illusion. However, the more that you ascend up the spine, the more that you're able to consciously raise your energy, aka your sexual energy, because it's the most potent form of it. You can raise other forms of energy, but this is the most potent form. So let's get right down to the business and get right down to the thing that has the most impact on your elevation and conscious evolution. The more you're able to raise that up, the more this illusion of reality starts to fade away. What do I mean by that? You see, all of us who are living in our lower states of consciousness are focused on three main things in life. You can be totally honest with yourself. This is probably what you're focused on. This is what 99.9% of the population is focused on. Survival, sex, and status. Those are the three things that most men, the majority of men, are focused on. That is their God. That is their ultimate pinnacle point of life. Survive, chase sex, and attain status. These are the lower level states of consciousness. Am I saying that they're evil, that they're bad? No, this is not some religious dogma that I'm spewing out to you guys. This is just the cold, hard facts. You see, humans, mankind, is in the interplay, is in the middle of the seesaw between the animal and the angel within it. And if you look at the spine, if you look at the yogic systems of these chakras, the human state of consciousness resides within the heart. The lower three, the Muladhara, the Svadhisthana, and the Manipura are the animal side of you. That's where most people are stuck at. They have a lid over it. Because society that we live in today wants to keep you stuck there. There is a war for your consciousness going on beneath the surface. There is a fucking war. Let that sink into your mind. Let that marinate. There is a war going on for your attention, for your energy, and for your very consciousness. Because they know if they can manipulate your consciousness, they can make you a true sovereign being into a mere cog into their machine. Your natural state is to be a spiritual sovereign being. Yet they manipulate and mold you into a mere cog in their machine, into a pawn on the chessboard. You're no longer playing the game of life, you're being played by the game of life. Oh man, let that fucking marinate in your mind. You ain't playing the game of life, you being played by the game of your life. That's a bar right the fuck down. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? They can manipulate you into doing that. And how they do that is by making your own body and brain work against your spirit, making you a slave to the flesh, making you a slave to your senses, making you a slave to food, aka survival, making you a slave to sex, making you a slave to status, aka external ego. What does this guy think of me? What does that guy think of me? What does society view me as within this hierarchical structure? That is what your reality looks like, is being projected out in front of you when you are stuck in those lower planes of consciousness. That is what is happening to, again, 99% of men out there. They use pornography, they use junk food, they use social media, they use mindless entertainment to keep you there. But once you start to master the self through practices like semen retention, through practices like celibacy, you make an internal shift, and that shift is going from these lower level states of consciousness up to the heart and past the heart, to the Vishuddhi, the throat chakra, the Ajna, the third eye chakra, and the crown chakra, the Sahasrara. These allow you to tap into your spiritual faculties, who you are beyond the brain and body. And guess what? Once you tap into those states of consciousness, the illusions, the clouds, the nonsense, the BS that this external world is projecting out onto you starts to fade away. Am I saying that you start to go into a psychedelic trip? No. But what I'm saying is you start to see things clearly. You're no longer fooled by the carrot that they're dangling right in front of you. You're no longer fooled by the mousetrap. You're no longer stuck on this hamster wheel of desires, chasing sex, chasing survival, chasing status, because you know, and I know, that this is a bottomless pit. Doesn't matter how many cars, money, clothes, or hoes that you got, you always need more. You always need more. You're never gonna be satisfied because all you're doing is stimulating the senses, stimulating the lower senses. You're never satisfying your motherfucking soul. That's why you're always stuck on this hamster wheel, on this cyclical pattern of looking externally for things to make you feel fulfilled. Yet nothing in this world externally will give you that sense of fulfillment internally. It is the shift that you must make. And this is what semen retention and celibacy will do to you. There is no time period of what this happens. My time period is different than yours. Your time period is different from mine. If you've been a part of this channel and part of all the content I've been making, of course, I got a whole video talking about the 6 stages of semen retention that I made about 2 years ago that went into my understanding of how this goes and my own personal experiences of what days I start to feel this shift. But now it's been 2 years after that. And I'm telling you right now, this shit is so much more powerful than I even thought back then. That was when I was about 3 years on SR, celibacy. Now I'm 5 years almost into it. And again, is it about the streak of, oh man, look at me, I'm on 5 years? I don't even think about it. But what I am feeling every single day is the shift, the internal shift. So that's what I'm telling you right now. Doesn't matter how far you're along in your journey. This is something that I wish somebody told me. Because again, a lot of the semen retention content creators within YouTube right now don't make it this far along the journey. I'm not saying how long they go on it. I'm talking about how deep they get into it, consciously speaking. They don't get into the ancient text. They don't get into the nitty gritty details, and they don't feel the internal shift themselves. And that's totally fine. If all you're trying to do is nofap, that's what you got to do. Look at the benefits. Quitting porn, quitting this hookup culture. Totally fine. But if you're a true spiritual aspirant that's ready to ascend up the spine, this is the channel for you. This is the sauce, this is the game for you. Because this ain't fucking for everybody. The true path of semen retention, the true path of spiritual celibacy is not meant for every man. It's meant for those who are willing to sacrifice the lower level pleasures in order to go beyond the surface level of reality. They know deep down. I don't know how. Maybe you had a meditative experience, a transcendental experience, psychedelics, whatever it is. You felt the substratum of reality. And what do I mean by the substratum of reality? I'm talking about going beyond the brain and body, going beyond these lower level impulses. You've tasted that before, I'm guessing, because this type of content is only gonna relate to those types of people. This is not about how many fucking days you haven't touched your goddamn cock, how many days you haven't busted a nut. That's not what it's about. It's how much you have shifted internally. Are you picking up what the fuck I'm putting down? This is shit people won't tell you. When I'm out here in the field, in the flesh, breaking it down like a brick for y'all, for the true spiritual aspirants. This is the shift that makes this whole practice so powerful. You think the ancient yogis, the sages, the saints, the people that are so evolved were thinking about, oh man, how many days have I not watched porn? How many days have I not gone and banged a girl? No, they were living a life of self-mastery. Self-mastery is making that internal shift. And one of the most powerful and potent things you can do along this path of self-mastery is controlling your sexual prana, because that prana is like electricity. It's what turns on those higher faculties. It's what turns on your ability to create through the Vishuddhi chakra. It's what turns on your Ajna chakra, the third eye, aka where you achieve states of gnosis. And what do I mean by gnosis? Aka attaining knowledge about who and what you are beyond the brain and body, and most importantly, what you were really brought here to do beyond just satisfying your senses like a goddamn animal. That is where you'll find your dharma, your destiny, what you were brought here to create. The Ajna and the throat chakra work together. You get the information and you create it. The more you're living a life that is aligned to your destiny, your dharma, the less you need external desires, because you find all the internal bliss within you. That's the shift semen retention does to you. That's the shift celibacy does to you. That's the shift self-mastery does to you. And what do you do at the highest chakra, the highest center of consciousness? You attain the absolute. You attain God consciousness. You attain Christ consciousness. You attain Krishna consciousness, whatever the fuck you want to call it, bro. Because you're living in alignment to your dharma. You see God in everything. You experience God within you. You are drinking from the cup of divine nectar. This is what this path of semen retention celibacy is about. This is what the ancient teachings have told us. Not no nut November, not no fucking fap February, whatever the fuck you guys call it, you know? It's not about that. It's not even about the benefits. It's about the shift. It's about the shift. So this is why I wanted to make this video. Stop giving a fuck about your streak. Of course, the longer you retain, the more becomes revealed. That's just how it goes. The longer you go to the gym, the more gains that you'll make, it accumulates. But stop making the goal how many days you get on semen retention. Don't make semen retention your new religion. We got a full video literally titled that here on this channel. Don't make it your new religion. Don't make it something that you praise. Something that you look as, oh man, this is the thing that will change my life. No, it's the shift through the practice of semen retention and everything else that you combine with that will change your life. This is a piece of the puzzle. It ain't the whole fucking puzzle itself. It is a major, very powerful key and piece to the puzzle, because semen retention, celibacy, what it really does is it amplifies anything else that you're doing. Whatever you put your attention on, it amplifies it. If you put your attention on female attraction, guess what? It's going to amplify it. If you put your attention towards spiritual aspirations, it's going to amplify it. If you put the attention and you amplify it towards your business, it's going to skyrocket it. Whatever you put your mind to, semen retention magnifies. It magnifies it. That's why you need to stop magnifying the idea that semen retention is your religion, is the savior. Nobody's gonna save you but you. No one's gonna master the self but you. Master your sexual energy, but that ain't the whole thing. It's a gateway to these higher levels of consciousness, but you still need to learn how to transmute it to open up those gateways. You have the key now to unlock the doors, but you have to get to the door to unlock them, which is done through the other practices of self-mastery that we talk about here on this channel. On the main channel, The Philosopher. If you don't know, man, about the main channel, check out the link posted in the description box down below. Because that's where we got all the edited content, the documentaries, all the sauce, all the real cut, nice, professional stuff that for some people, that's what they like more. If you like more of these raw talks, this is what we do out here on the second channel, The Philosopher Files. But again, the main channel, all that stuff, link posted in the description box down below. Instagram too there as well. If you want to DM me, talk about anything that you're dealing with. If you're interested in these types of topics, right there for you. The Philosopher. If you didn't know, now you know. The Philosopher Files, second channel, always these raw talks, that's how it is. But again, the stuff that we talk about on this channel, The Philosopher Files, the main channel, The Philosopher, the private Patreon community, man, shout out to the fucking private Patreon community. Let's take a quick pause. A quick pause. Because if you're somebody, like we just said before, that's a true spiritual aspirant, that's really trying to send up the spine, that's really trying to make that internal shift with this practice of semen retention and this overall journey of mastering the self, if you're somebody that's like that, and you know who I'm talking to, if you know that that's you, and you have not joined up into the private Patreon community yet, man, what I need you to do right now is find the next closest mirror to you. I don't care if it's in a car window. I don't care if it's in your bathroom. I don't care if it's in your fucking phone. Go look in the mirror and take a good mental picture of the man that's staring right into your eyes, that's staring right into your soul in the mirror. Take a nice click-clack Kodak moment, a mental picture. Really analyze all the details of that guy, because you're doing him, not me. You're doing that guy that's staring right back at you in the mirror. a huge motherfucking disfavor by not joining up into the private Patreon community yet if you're someone who's truly serious about unlocking your highest potential mentally, physically, and spiritually as a divine masculine man. Because within the private Patreon community, look, we are going so in depth and so in detail that you couldn't even imagine. You couldn't even imagine. I'm talking about uncovering this esoteric science of self-mastery to the T with these ancient texts that we're breaking down, with these esoteric teachings that we're breaking down, with the occult doctrines of the past that gives us a blueprint to access these states of divine bliss through different disciplines such as semen retention and celibacy. I'm talking about real deal game, real deal sauce that you're gonna find on this channel, on the main channel, matter of fact, anywhere else on the goddamn internet. Because this goes super in depth and super in detail. So not only as a member of the private Patreon community would you get access to all those exclusive videos, but also to our full guides, our in-depth occult lectures, our digital libraries, and most importantly, if you tap into the Philosopher's Circle, aka the highest membership tier group within the private Patreon community as a whole, you'll get an invitation to our private group chat where we host our bi-weekly Mastermind Live calls. Yes, sir, you heard me right. Our bi-weekly Mastermind Live calls where you hop on a call with me as well as a community of like-minded men who are also on this path of self-mastery, who are also on this journey of using semen retention and celibacy as tools to unlock these dormant, latent states of consciousness, who are using it as a way to shift internally rather than make it streak externally. If you want to be around evolved people, if you want to be surrounded with other men who will hold you accountable on this path, who want to see you elevate and who eventually want to see you liberate, I'm telling you, man, the Philosopher's Circle is the place for you. I can 100% guarantee it. I can assure that for you, my guy. But if you need any more information about the Philosopher's Circle and the private Patreon community as a whole, check out the link posted in the pinned comment of this video, not the description box, the pinned comment of this video. Because once you click that link, you'll be forwarded to our page where you can find all the different links towards our different services, such as the private Patreon community, as well as the other services I provide, such as application forms from our personalized coaching program. If you're someone who's looking for direct one-on-one help from me to help systemize a path towards your highest potential on the mental, physical, and spiritual planes of reality, by first detoxing from all the degeneracy, by first dissolving those karmic ties, by disintegrating these bonds and attachments that hold you back from ever realizing who and what you are beyond the brain and body, that hold you back from ever discovering your dharma, your destiny, your divine duty as a divine masculine man. If you're ready to actually elevate yourself and go beyond all those blockages, whether they be mind blockages, physical blockages, spiritual blockages, it does not matter what it is. If you're ready to go beyond all that and truly taste your highest potential through this path of self-mastery, shoot me an application form and we'll see if your criteria meets the qualifications for the coaching program, because this program is all about a personalized system and guide for you, yeah, I'm talking to you, motherfucker, to get back on the right track towards the divine path of who and what you were always meant to be, by dissolving those karmas and discovering your dharma, which is only done through the path of self-mastery. So again, shoot application form and we'll see if your criteria meets the qualifications for the coaching program. But if you just want to book a one-time consultation call with your boy, discuss anything that you're dealing with to help you get back on the right track, systemize the solution to help you realize what it is that you need to evolve and elevate upon, book a call, man. We'll discuss everything in detail. Again, all that good stuff posted in the pinned comment of this video. Just click that, you'll be forwarded to our page, and you can pick and choose whichever one of those services that may help you ascend to the next level. But again, all the stuff that I was talking about before, that we speak about on this channel, on the main channel, especially on the private Patreon community, especially within my personalized coaching program, is about that shift. It's about giving you the tools, the tips, the techniques to make that shift. Because just retaining your seed is not enough. Just having a long streak is not enough. The shift is what we're looking for. Fuck the streak. The shift is what we're looking for. Hopefully this stuff is really getting into your mind and really just sinking into your psyche. Because a lot of people I see are too caught up in how long their streak is that they forget about even making that shift internally. You can be at 1,000 days and still not make that shift. Very rare, because I don't think you'll ever make 1,000 days if you don't shift and actually make your life revolving around this path to self-mastery. But let's say you get there without doing it. You still didn't make the shift, so what's the point? You're still repressing that energy instead of learning how to redirect it. You're still living stuck in your lower planes of consciousness. You're still a slave to your senses, but you're like a water balloon that's ready to pop. You're not actually learning to become the water. You're just holding it, and then one day it's just gonna pop like a firework. That's not what this fucking practice is about. Yeah, you might get some benefits by just holding it and repressing it, but you're gonna get a lot of dangerous side effects too. The shift is what makes this practice into a discipline that revolves around an overall holistic lifestyle. It's the shift that you're looking for. It is not the streak. Let me say that again. Let me repeat it again. The streak is not what you're looking for. It is the shift. It is the evolution of your consciousness from those lower planes up to the higher faculties. Because once you start touching these higher faculties, you start revealing your true nature. You start revealing the path that you're always meant to be on. You start understanding, better yet, understanding what it is that you are beyond the flesh and bones, and what it is that you were brought here to do beyond just satisfying the senses. I always bring up this analogy. The sun is like that true self. Yet sometimes today it's beautiful. No fucking, not even a cloud in the sky I'm looking at. Blue skies out here in Cali. But sometimes it's cloudy. Sometimes it's raining. Sometimes it's even snowing. Not where I'm at, but it can snow. Does that mean that the sun is not there? Fuck no, it's always there. But it's covered up by clouds, covered up by rain, covered up by snow. That is like your true self, which is held up in here, up in your higher faculties, being covered up by the karmas of your lower senses, of all those carnal attachments that you have to survival, sex, and status. The more that you're stuck as a slave to that, the more clouds that you have that are blurring your vision of who it is that you are beyond the brain and body. When you practice semen retention and self-mastery, it's like clearing those clouds as you ascend up the spine. You know, if it's really cloudy, if it's really rainy, the higher you get up on the elevation scale, the more you can go beyond the clouds, above the clouds. It's like ascending up the spine. You go beyond the clouds to the point where all you see is blue skies. All you see is an illuminating sun, your true self, your higher essence. And from that point, you attain knowledge, gnosis, from the illuminating light of the sun of yourself that already knows what it is you were brought here to do. It knows the life of fulfillment. You already know all these things. Again, all this stuff that we talk about here on this channel, the main channel, the philosopher, on the private Patreon community within my personalized coaching program, is not about giving you rules that you must follow to become enlightened. No, it's about dissolving all the fucking BS. It's about unlearning, essentially. Because you already have a legit blueprint, a designed DNA map to your dharma, to your destiny. You just have forgot it. You're stuck in spiritual amnesia because you're a slave to your senses, because you're a slave to survival, you're a slave to sex, and you're a slave to status. Semen retention, celibacy, this whole path of self-mastery is about helping you once again return to those higher states, and eventually in those higher states become a sovereign being. You're no longer dependent on the external world to tell you who you are. You're no longer dependent on the external world to give you satisfaction. You find it from within. You bring heaven to earth. That's what this shift is about. That's what this journey is about. That's what this whole discipline is about. Are you picking up what I'm putting down? It's not about the streak. It's not about how many days that you've not busted a nut. It's about how much can you shift and how much can you come back to connection with the Supreme Source, with your higher self, with the Atma, with the soul, with the spirit, to the point where the spirit is the one driving the car now. And the car, the body is your body, and the steering wheel is your mind. Instead of your mind and body working against your spirit, they all work in harmony for the higher self. There's a great quote from Osho that I always bring up, literally every single video. And he states that the mind can either be a beautiful servant or a horrible master. Well, let's expand upon that. The brain and body can either be a beautiful servant of the spirit or a horrible master that suffocates the soul. Let me say that again. The brain and body can either be a beautiful servant of the spirit or it can be a horrible master that suffocates your soul. That's what society, the matrix, the mind, the illusion wants to do to you. Use your own biology, use your own neurobiology against you to the point where you become a slave to your natural instincts. Sex is always going to be there. Until you chop off your dick and balls, you're always going to have these urges. So it's not about how many days that you don't cave into the urges. It's about how can you sublimate those urges, that want, that need to procreate. How do you sublimate that into the need and want to procreate in a different manner, aka psychic reproduction? We got a full video literally about that within the private Patreon community, the art of psychic reproduction. How can you take that same sexual energy, which can create another human being, to create the life that you're always meant to live? The innovations, the inventions, the art, the music, whatever it is that you are brought here to this world to build in order to elevate the collective consciousness of humanity, how do you use your sexual energy for that? Guys like Steve Jobs, Leonardo da Vinci, Isaac Newton, all the people that we broke down within that video on the private Patreon community are prime examples of those who tapped into the art of psychic reproduction. And you have the ability too. These aren't fucking special people. They've just mastered certain energies within them. Not by how many fucking days have I not busted a nut? No, do you think Leonardo da Vinci was thinking about that? Steve Jobs, Sir Isaac Newton? No, they were focused on the internal shift. Whether they knew it or not, they were focused on that by mastering the self. So really let this stuff marinate in your mind, because this is a very important video for those who are truly on this path of using semen retention and celibacy as tools to upgrade and take their mind, body, and soul to the next level, because that upgrade won't happen if you're just a slave to your streak now. Just like as you're a slave to your senses, you become a slave to the streak. You must transcend beyond that and tap into what this practice is truly all about, which is the internal shift. That's when you really will start to realize, oh fuck, this dumbass was right. This guy, Fulati, the philosopher, was right. He wasn't just yapping out here in the field in the flesh. He was actually speaking some game. Because this might fly over most people's heads. But if you made it this far into the video, bro, there's a reason why. Because again, you're already in the 1 percentile of the population. Meaning that most people can't watch a video for this long with no cuts, no edits. But if you're able to watch a video for this long and actually understand, better yet, understand these higher level concepts, there is a reason behind it. You cannot waste those gifts given to you by God. Because I always say the people that watch this channel, the Philosopher Files in specific, we're out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping y'all that game so you guys can make these gains. You dig what the fuck I'm saying? No cuts, no edits, just straight up speaking off the dome. You guys are more consciously aware, more psychologically and spiritually matured than the masses. Am I saying that you're better than anyone? That you're a chosen one because you're watching this channel? Absolutely fucking not. This is not no new age shit. That's not what I'm here to say. But what I am saying is the fact that you're able to grasp these higher level concepts is a clear sign that you're ready to make that shift. Most people aren't ready to make that shift. And that's why this stuff doesn't even correlate to them. But you just getting this knowledge up in the mind is one thing. But turning that knowledge into gnosis, which resides in the heart, that transition is done through first-hand experience. AKA applying this knowledge and turning into gnosis. You must actually see that shift firsthand for yourself rather than relying on some guy telling you what it's about. You must go on this journey of self-mastery yourself. You must start to use your sexual energy as a tool and leverage your libido and shift it from lust into illumination yourself. You can read all the books, you can watch all the videos, You can hear people talk about it for ages, but until you feel it yourself, this is just all theories in your mind. Again, when it comes to self-improvement, we call people that watch all these videos and read book after book after book when it comes to self-help, mental masturbators, if they don't actually apply it. We call them mental masturbators. I'm calling you a spiritual masturbator. Yes, you. If you're actually just listening to all this, oh wow, that makes sense. You're going back into the same cycles of degeneracy, going back into the same cycles of living a life as a slave to your carnal nature. You're a spiritual masturbator. Whether you like it or not, that's what you are. So you need to wake up and actually start applying this shit. Because again, you've been gifted, I don't know why, I don't know how, maybe due to the past lives that you dissolved some of the karmas that put you in a better position right now. Maybe it's due to the karmas that you dissolved in this life so far. But you're able to grasp these higher level concepts that I'm breaking down. And forget about me. Focus on the message. Do not give a fuck about the messenger. Again, I'm never here to recreate the wheel. My job, my destiny, my dharma is to revive the ancient wisdom of the past given to us by the awakened masters, the awakened sages, the sadhus, the monks, the mystics, the saints from the past who have broken down the blueprint of how man can consciously evolve from the animal on over to the angel. I'm here to break that down and make it more practical for the modern man to apply it into his life right here, right now. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 9, there is nothing new under the sun. I'm not here recreating the wheel. I'm just here to revive that ancient wisdom and make sure that esoteric teachings of the past are applicable for the modern man and the modern spiritual aspirant to elevate his life in every single aspect. There's a blueprint, there's a map, there's a formula to this journey, to this ascent up the spine, to this internal shift. But it requires sacrifice. And most people aren't ready for that sacrifice. But for the people that are watching still into this video, I'm pretty sure you're ready to make that sacrifice if you haven't already. Because you just wasted fucking 37 minutes of your time if that's not the case. Wake up if that's the case. Go to the next channel. Do not tune into this again. Because I'm not here to yap to the people that aren't ready to make the shift. This is for the people that are ready to make that leap of faith, that are ready to go into the unknown, that are ready to go against what society has programmed them to believe, that all life as a man is about is survival, sex, and status. If you're ready to go beyond that, if you're ready to go past the surface level of reality, then you must be willing to sacrifice and you must take this step towards mastering the self. With semen retention, celibacy being a huge part of it, to make the internal shift happen firsthand for yourself, where you'll realize, oh no, this is legit. But if you're struggling on this journey, I totally understand. Everything around you is hypersexualized to the point where they are robbing you in broad daylight of this sexual prana, to make sure that you stay depleted, to make sure that you stay drained, to make sure that you stay degenerated and never truly accessing these higher planes of consciousness. But look, if you haven't tapped into the Art of Retention ebook yet, you're missing out. You are missing out. A full ebook written by your boy truly, that breaks down all the tools and tips you need to succeed on this journey of retaining your seed, cultivating your life force, and activating these higher planes of consciousness. If you have not tuned into that yet, man, you are missing out. You are truly missing out. Right now, just go in the YouTube search bar, type in how to succeed on semen retention. You'll find a full video guide on the main channel, again, The Philosopher, where you'll get all the sauce, all the game you need to elevate on every single plane while using this practice. And within the video guide itself, you'll find the link to the actual ebook itself. And this is totally free for the free 99. Totally free. Grab the ebook, because the ebook goes even more in depth and more in detail than the video guide itself. So you have all the sauce, you have all the game that you need to actually use this practice for what it was intended to be, as an internal shift of your mind, body, and soul. But look, if you're dyslexic, you're retarded, you got ADHD, you can't read, your boy's got you covered with a full audio series of the Art of Retention ebook. Just go on the main channel again, The Philosopher, link in the description box if you need that. Go on the playlist section, and you'll see the audio series right there for you. You can pop it in while you're walking, while you're driving, while you're working, while you're doing whatever. And get up on some game, so you ain't out here looking like a lame. You dig what I'm saying? If you're understanding all this stuff, better yet, If you're understanding it, it's time to start understanding it by applying it into your life. So there is no excuse, because you got all the sauce, you got all the game right there for you. And if you need any extra guidance, any extra help on this journey of making that internal shift of self-mastery, check out the link in the pinned comment of this video, bro. We got all the different services right there for you, whether it be consultation calls, whether it be application forms from our personalized coaching program for the people that are truly serious about making this shift. Hop into the Philosopher's Circle on our next bi-weekly Mastermind Live call. Let's chop it up about these types of topics within the private group chat. All those things are right there for you. Pinned comments video, the ebook on the main channel, all that stuff. So forget about these fucking streaks and start focusing in on that internal shift. Because once you taste a little bit of that internal shift, you know that there's no going back. Yet it does not matter how many days on the streak you get, you might still fall back down to the lower planes of consciousness because that internal shift still hasn't been made. Once you taste it, it's too powerful to go back. It's too powerful to go back. So let that really marinate in your mind. Let that sink into your psyche, my guy. Let's end it off right there. It's been your boy out here in the field, in the flesh, dropping you all that game so you guys can make these gains on out here. Peace.